Bitcoin, crypto, morning tea. Hey. Whoa, the remote came out. Good morning, everybody. My name's pianomattyb. This is your morning tea. Oh, my God. See, what happens is you just let the remote fall, and then you forget everything. Whoa. FOMO index has jumped up to 66 from 62. Bitcoin dominance 51.5%, 24-hour volume 53 billion. And the overall market cap is 1.41. This is G major trillion. Give or take 100 million. Bitcoin is up 3%. ETH is up 2%. And good old Sol, the fastest runner in the race, is up to 8%. And Justin Sun, project gets hacked for 115 million. Department of Justice warns on DeFi rules for U.S. customers. Well, here it comes. We knew this was coming. We knew we had to be prepared. Just a matter of time. And the Binance exodus has slowed down. People are like, well, it's not so bad. It's just 4.3 billion. It's just, a slap on the wrist, if it were. Chump change for a gazillionaire like CZ. Speaking of CZ, prosecutors want CZ in the U.S. until February. Why? We're not sure yet. But when we do come up with a reason why we want you in the U.S. in February, well, we're going to tell you. And then you better be in U.S. in February or else. Yeah, we don't have anything against you now, but we will. And when we do find you, you better be in the U.S. in February. SolDex monthly volume hits all-time high of 5 billion, which makes sense because I always talk about my buddy at the squash club who's the biggest Solana bull you've ever met. And he shows me all these transactions he can make and all these liquidity pools he can take that you could never do in Ethereum. Just the sheer cheap aspect of the transactions are amazing. And it makes me think, geez, maybe Solana is the ETH killer. Could that be? We'll wait and see. BlackRock has a meeting with the SEC about ETF. We can't do one day without a little ETF porn. But when BlackRock meets with the SEC, it's game on. They just basically walk up to Gary and go, hey, Gary, give him a noogie. What gives? We told you what we wanted you to do. You haven't done it yet. Do we have to remind you that your job is dependent on doing what we say? Yeah, I know, Lawrence. Don't call me Lawrence, it's Larry. But I was just trying to pay a little, cat and mouse, make everyone a little more fearful in the market so we could maybe take the price down a little bit and, you could get ahead of the action, before the price goes parabolic, because we all know it's going parabolic. Dave Digital. Is he talking about Sol? Where is the effing dislike button? I bet you there is some people who saw the Sol remarks like, oh my God, that's it. He's converted. He's a Sol bull now. We got to get out of here. It's been fun. 2 years. We appreciate the work. However, unsubscribe finally. Unsubscribe. Germany is set for a period of forced austerity. Now, when you think of that, you probably think, well, that's probably a bad thing. And as it goes over, it will be a bad thing and painful. But this is what happens in a blood money fiat currency. Things go up, things go down. You think it's going to go up forever, but unfortunately that's not what happens because it's a cycle of booms and busts, all orchestrated by the central banks. See, I had to put an A minor there. Whenever you kind of change the mood into something more dark and morose, you need a minor chord. That sounds more like a central bank. Actually, this sounds more like a central bank. We'll stay in D minor though. Bill Gates can see a 3-day work week with AI. Well, maybe for him. Because most of us, well, will probably have to be doing those weird jobs that we never thought humans would ever have to do. All the manual labor that AI just can't get its AI mind around yet. Netflix filmmaker used $11 million for crypto and stocks. This is how that pitch went. So your budget's $22 million. We see that you have about $10 million for production costs. What's this $11 million for? Wow. I'm going to have to do some trading while it's part of the narrative of how you trade stocks, you know. Win or lose, it'll be in my cold storage outside the system, so it doesn't. You don't need to worry about that. $11 million I'm going to be putting into Bitcoin, you know, just as experiment. The crowd will love it. They won't know what I'm doing, but in the end, whether the movie flops or not, I'll be a Bitcoin whale. I always dreamed about being a Bitcoin whale, but I didn't have $11 million till I met Netflix. They made my dreams come true. Yeah, well, you know, when I started this stream, I wasn't sure I was going to actually play the piano and do it because I've never really done it. And a lot of people think that I do the production videos ad hoc, kind of like I'm just running through it. But there are scripts, and it's edited, so I can make it look like I just coming off the top of my head. Thanksgiving in United States. Let's catch up with some here. Dave Digital, Matty, have you ever considered sending out a soundcheck video and calling out your favorite artist? Sending one to them, you're old, so your favorite artists are probably old too. Yeah, well, I haven't actually, but that's a good idea, because I do believe in my bullish delusion that the soundcheck song could be maybe the most popular song I ever didn't mean to write or put out, because it has such utility, right? So when people usually sound check, this is what a sound check sounds like. Check, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. How's that? Not bad, but can I get a little more bass? And the sound guy pretends that he's putting bass in because he's not. He's like, yeah, sure. And he just pretends he's doing it. And he's like, check, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, that's better. Okay, can we move on? Hold on a second. Check. Yeah. Maybe a little mid, and then the sound check does the fake thing. Yeah. How's that mid for you, John Mayer? Check. Yeah. 1, 1. Yeah, it's perfect. That's what a sound check actually sounds like when you see it live. Retro Mike Tech, thank you for the Thanksgiving super chat. Raymond Ranowski, happy Thanksgiving, pianomattyb, and all your subs. Hey, that was a pretty bullish whistle, if I have to say so. Dave Digital will make me injure my self-dislike you. I don't know what that means. Self-dislike you. House. I saw Sneaky Pete Vaporizers. He gave my whistle a little more inspiration. You notice that? It had a little more oompah, a little more joie de vivre in it. Sneaky Pete Vaporizers. I should have ended while I was ahead there. Breaking free, big week incoming. We retest 35.8. I guess a breaking free is a somewhat of in a bearish Thanksgiving mood. I haven't really done the back testing on Thanksgiving. In my mind, I like to think that people talk about Bitcoin during Thanksgiving, and some people get convinced that it is, well, it's whistling with your teeth, Squeaky McGee. That's why it's hard, right? Whistling with your lips. Bullish all day long, buddy. there are some things that people can get across to their family members that make sense, and maybe some people buy it, right? They get so much FOMO around the turkey dinner. Dickie Tweedle, what going up today? Matt Chucky T was trying to work out the B in your name. His guess was Bitcoin. Yeah, close enough. I mean, it would make sense, right? It's actually the first letter of my last name. So when sitting around the table, where is it? Bitcoin. This is what that surly uncle would be saying. Number one, Sneaky Pete vaporizers. I like the live piano news readout. That was fun. Thank you, Sneaky Pete. Canadian. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. See, yeah, so the whistle's coming out nice. Maybe we're gonna have a bullish one. We have seen a little bit of a retracement, 37.2. Let's take a look at this chart really quick before we go over these arguments about Bitcoin. Whoa, what's going on there? There's fish. We got fish here. We got Chucky Tweddle down here. We got Das Peach. I'm going to see how fish does today on the 4-hour chart. We'll get Chucky in on the ding dong. This is where we were yesterday. We wanted to hit, if we're going to see bullish resistance, we were probably going to bounce off 36.1. What did we do? We bounced off 36.2. That's 36.2, and then boom skis. We're right back up into our ascending channel, peaking out 37.8, and then we've been coasting down ever since. So, fish, if you would do me the justice here. All we wanted to do was get out of this lower ascending channel, and we did it. So here we up here. But if one were to be so bold, one might take this triangle, this ascending triangle, and extend it. Something like this. Now, you can see how we are still respecting it. This is I actually got the TradingView subscription because I was so tired of Binance sluggishness. And they got me on the 70% off deal. 70% off today only. You know how they do that. And let me get this thing out here. It's too big now. This was an idea gone wrong. But you know what? To tell you the truth, there isn't that much extra in this subscription that you can't actually get from something else. I got a super chat. Let's check it out here. Creighton. Happy Thanksgiving, Matty. Turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table. Once I saw a movie with Betty Gable. Happy Thanksgiving, Matty. Turkey for me. Come on, work with me. Turkey for you. Let's eat the turkey in my big brown shoes. Love to eat turkey at the table. Once I saw a movie with Betty Gable. Wouldn't that be funny? If a shtick was, you give me a super chat, I'll make a song out of it then and there, right on the right off the gizzo. Thank you for those super chat, Creighton. Much appreciated. Where were we on these charts? Yeah, so if there is super chats, I'll read them as a song, as long as they're nicely rhymed like Creighton was there. So we're gonna follow this, probably respect this down until we finally maybe hit our ascending channels support, which would be at 37.1. Now 37.1, I think that is a significant level even on the ding dong. Now we got a thumbs down, folks. Now Dave Digital will say that thumbs down is from me talking about soul, but I think it was them not seeing the production video. Could be, but I'm hypersensitive about that. I always think so. Squeaky McGee, that's the Adam Sandler turkey song. Is it? I didn't know that. I only knew his The Hanukkah song, yeah. I don't want to do it or else I'll get flagged. I wonder if it'll flag it right at that point. Check in on the ding dong. Fish, for your first time out on the 4-hour noisy little so-and-so, not bad. Not bad. Let's put this down here. Why is this so big? So look at that. That is, Chucky, if you may, that is like $100 or $200 off of a bullish engulfing candle, which is about, well, it did actually go above it. So one might say it's a bullish engulfing candle. We can mince words here, whether it is or isn't. Let's get this a little bigger so we can have a better discussion about this. Yeah, so we wicked above. I mean, so there is some credibility to the fact that it might be a bullish engulfing candle. However, the old sticklers in the back room that find me for TA inconsistencies would say that's not an official. Even if we take a look at the bottom, you see the bottom opened above. What you want to see here is this bottom below and then the close above. That would be officially a textbook bullish engulfing candle. So, Jesus. Bullish on parade at Canadian Thanksgiving. I talk too much about crypto. They put me at the kids' table. Yeah. People are kind of used to me at the table now talking about Bitcoin. I try to not, but at this point in civilization, what is more interesting than the dawning of a new technology that will basically revolutionize how humans behave for the next century or two? Anyway, that's how my conversations start. I also like to throw out some. Remember when I said you should have put some money in it at that? Remember when it was? Yeah. Well, I would have been twice. You would have doubled your money right now. But anyway, past the gravy. So you can see that we did close the candle back inside our ascending channel, which was our ascending triangle, which was about as bullish as we could imagine for that massive dump. It's basically, negated it. However, we're struggling to close above here. What do we need to be about to close? Basically 37.4. If we close under 37.4, we will be closing outside of this triangle, which is bearish. We've only done it once, way back here. Everything, even this massive, why no, I guess we did close this massive red candle. So then up we go. Let's keep our eye on that, 37.4. If not, we break out of this. I'm going to leave that little doodle on here because where's that 20 moving average? 36.6. Yeah, so we should get some backstop at 36.6. You can see it's 36.6 is right around all these candle closes here. So there's some good bullish pressure. People coming back into the market around there. However, more bearish pressure will follow this baby down all the way to 34.1. Now let's set you back down by fish there. Chucky Tweddle, thank you for your efforts on the ding dong. Das Peach. What's going on here? There we go. Das Peach, 34.1, where that little so-and-so, the ding dong plays out to, if continued bearish pressure, is our line of support here. You can see these wicks. This is really small. This is probably hard for anyone to see on a phone. Let's see if this makes it slightly more interesting. There we go. This is 34.1, the same as the ding dong. These are some wicks. That which once wicked will get candlesticked. You can see that wick got bought up real proper like, but I don't like seeing those wicks. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if there weren't some candles that came down to here. Doesn't mean it has to be. It doesn't mean it will. Just means I would say that of all my TA arsenal that I use, that which once wicked will get candlesticked has to be one of the most accurate I think I've ever seen. Adam Sand, Matty, if the stock market goes full blown nosedive, What do you think will happen with Bitcoin and crypto? Well, I use this analogy, Adam San. When and if we do see Armageddon in the stock market and it does a full-blown nosedive, everything will be dragged down with that gravitational pull of pessimism, bearish, algo bots, people FOMO selling. But it's like a school alarm in elementary school. Everyone leaves the building, everyone flushes out of the market, but the first kids back will be the crypto, will be Bitcoin. That'll be the first one. I mean, traditionally, crypto or Bitcoin will be pulled down by the stock market, but I feel there's a chance now that it might not. We may see all that, as Michael Saylor would say, financial energy, all that financial energy leaving the legacy stock market, go into Bitcoin. That's what we might see, because if people are panicking, where are they panicking to? There's nowhere else, there's nowhere to panic now. There's nowhere to panic to. Where are you going to panic to? Gold? Are you going to call your guy? Because these are, family institutions and whatnot. Yeah, you got to sell out. We're selling at the bottom. Let's get into, gold. No, they're not going to do that. So one of my predictions is that we may see a stock market crash just as the ETF comes in, which will instill a lot of fear and selling, knee-jerk fear selling. But that will allow all that financial energy Michael Saylor was talking about to flood into that ETF, because it will be marketed so hard as a flight to safety and quality. Dave Digital secretly hates... Where am I? Dave Digital secretly despises Michael Saylor. Well, Michael Saylor has done more for Bitcoin awareness, especially on an institutional level. Yeah, there are some things. He is such a bull that you either love him or hate him. I like him because I think he orange pilled me when I was faltering. We all have those moments when we start thinking, what am I doing? What have I done? Right. And then just as fate would have it, he came along with some videos, and Jason Lowry came around with some videos and realigned my value proposition for Bitcoin within 20 minutes. So that's what I have for my love for Michael Saylor is that. I actually, the only reason I got the blue thing on Twitter was to send a text to Michael Saylor, asking him. I wanted him to come and do a thing on my channel about his rock stardom, because he wanted to be a rock star. Most people don't know this, but before he became a gazillionaire, engineer, computer programmer, entrepreneur, investor, he wanted to be a rock star. So I wanted to get that story from him, because I think it's probably a story nobody knows or ever asks him. Bitcoin has no intrinsic value. That's what your uncle will tell you. It might be true. It depends. Value is, I was just telling Duke, value is subjective to the beholder. I find value in Apple products because I use them all. Someone I know doesn't do anything in computers, so they have zero value. So when I say I'm looking at a computer that costs $3,000, they think that's insanity. Well, why would you buy a computer for $3,000? There can't be value in it. And there is, because to me, value is time. It saves me time with a faster, better computer, et cetera, et cetera. Then your other uncle pumps in, you know what? The government is going to shut down Bitcoin. It's just a matter of time, you dummies. And unfortunately, those people that say that, they don't know how Bitcoin works. They think it can be shut down. They think that there's a guy at Lovers, in some cave in Cheyenne Mountain that's keeping Bitcoin alive. It has all the mining gear underneath those mountains. So unfortunately, when those things come up, you got to give the lesson in decentralization. At that point, glaze, Bitcoin is too volatile. Is it? I would argue that the stock market's been just as volatile. The tech stocks have been just as, or if not more, than Bitcoin. Glaze. Bitcoin wastes energy. This is a good one because I think it's been the longest running fuddy narrative that always creeps up. In Canada, there's a business that's kind of getting off the ground now where they're taking the blow-off energy / steam from these oil rigs and they're converting it into energy that will run mining rigs. And I think that's going to be the future. And it's interesting how the evolution of one technology as it slowly runs its course, not saying that oil is going anywhere, but hey, there's Rosario Mingo wants to go back in. But as one technology comes in, it is built off the back somehow, just like all inventions, all ideas, all art, all songs, all music, all film is built off the back of the people that came before it. My favorite, this is your other uncle. Hey, yeah, well, that's great. Good for you with your Bitcoin, but have fun, being mixed up with all those criminals that use Bitcoin. At that point, you have to tell them, well, you're not much of a criminal if you're using Bitcoin because it exists on a transparent blockchain ledger. Everything you do is there. So it's like robbing banks with cameras everywhere. Like there isn't cameras everywhere, but with no mask, just walking into any bank. And did you do it? No, I didn't. Well, we have it right here. This is you, right? This is your face. This is your car. You drove down the street from your house. We have it all on film or video. Bitcoin can be cloned. That's true. I mean, it can be cloned. It can be forked, right? But at the same time, imagine that. I have a fork of Bitcoin. It's called pianomattyb Bitcoin. So anyone who wants to invest in it and start mining it, I'll be happy to take all your money. It's going to be bigger than Bitcoin because it's basically everything it does. However, it doesn't have the 12 years of market dominance that Bitcoin has. So when it's not the first man mover, and by now the pianomattyb Bitcoin is probably the 25,000th mover in it. Good luck. Bitcoin is a bubble. Well, to a certain degree, the cycle does behave like a bubble with bull runs, parabolic bull runs, and crashes, which is why it's the easiest asset to put your wealth in and know where it's going, right? I always come back to I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, I'm a human minimalist. And the one thing I like about the Bitcoin cycle is that there aren't a lot of humans at the levers in Cheyenne Mountain. This can be used for a funny meme actually in the future, Fish. I know what you're thinking, Fish. So it's easy to know where it's going, right? Where if you were to talk to 1,000 Bitcoin investors right now, out of the 1,000, how many of them would be saying we are in the next 2 years going up? I would say 999. There might be one dummy in there. Then after the crash, after the parabolic run, and we're sitting at, let's call it 300K, how many of those Bitcoin investors will be saying we're probably entering in a down market? Well, this one's tougher because the thing about the Bitcoin winter is that when you're in it, you don't know you're in it for about 6 to 9 months, and everyone's saying no, it's still going to go up, it's still going to go up. So that's a different scenario. We end up in the bullish delusion that it can go up forever, which it can't. But just like anyone, remember, everyone was saying as it was crashing, no, it's going to hold. And we did this dance, it's not crashing dance for a solid year till we were like, yeah, I think we're in the winter. Which is great because once you're in the winter, you have another opportunity to put all your wealth that you've accumulated in those 2 years into Bitcoin again. You can't look at it like the denomination in fiat currency. You have to look at it in the accumulation of the asset itself. Bitcoin fails as a currency for now. This is your snarky little niece, right? Oh yeah, well, Uncle pianomattyb, Bitcoin fails as a currency. I think you should know that. It's slow. 10 minutes. What is that? You're gonna wait 10 minutes at Tim Hortons? Hey, I don't go to Tim Hortons. But you are correct on that. It does fail as a currency. I think it behaving as a currency is an old wives' tale. I think it might have been sold. It might have been marketed as a currency before, but it's a digital store of value. Most people know that now. But if you're looking at it as, when people say, well, I want to buy a cup of coffee in Bitcoin. Really? Is that what you want to do? You want to buy a cup of coffee in Bitcoin? Well, here, I don't want to burst your bubble, but I don't think it's the best currency to buy coffee with. I think you're better off with your dirty blood money fiat. Dave Digital. If I have a snarky little niece, just give them a can of Dr. Pepper and you've been spitting. I had to pull out of that one halfway through. I wasn't sure where she was going. Joe Dittman took great joy in persisting to sentence 267 as I had a captive audience that'll teach him. I should have read that one first too. Didn't know where that was going. Let's see this one. I'm just sight reading these. I don't know what they mean. Bitcoin took 12 years to get this size. This is from Creighton C, which helps its stability, makes it less and less volatile. Big money doesn't want small, hyper-volatile assets. They like safe. They like proven true. That's why I think this is the bull run of all bull runs. This one will be the one. I mean, if you were one of those lucky humans that bought 1,000 Bitcoin or 10,000 Bitcoin for $100 or $1,000 or $500, and you forgot about it and you watch two bull runs take it to the millions. Well, I'm not sure we're going to see that again, but we're going to see such a dramatic rise with the institutions pumping in that to speculate what the next bottom is, it's tough. I mean, we can get onto all the 61.8% fibs we want once we hit a certain level, let's say 300K. But one might argue that these massive hedge funds will do their best to not have a 70 to 80% turn down. Just my speculation. Anyway, folks, it's auction day. So I'll be selling cars at the auction today. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for tuning in on this Thanksgiving. John Superfresh, nothing has intrinsic value except life. That's right. The most expensive asset and currency you don't own but need desperately is time. It's something that we never know when it's running out, and you always want more of it when it's gone. Scotty Mo, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. All the American peeps out there, enjoy your turkey dinner. Hopefully, we do a lot of convincing around the table. Oh, wait a second. Am I living in I think that's me, leaving my own house with boxing gloves. That's a sign, Sneaky Pete. That's a sign.
Make sure you like and subscribe.